My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and today I have a fun project. I wanted to do sort of a one theme idea, but with two different occasions. So that's basically what we're looking at today. This particular card layout was inspired by Rhonda Wade. She said this is one of her favorite layouts, and this isn't a layout that I typically work with, so I thought this would be fun for today. But the theme that we are working with is red, black, and white. And then just wanted to give you a few different ideas. So we have like an everyday occasion here, and then we have Christmas here. And I'll tell you how I came up with the red, white, and black, which is kind of funny, but I have teachers' gifts on the brain right now. So for me, I wanted to make or design a few different thank you or appreciation cards with teachers in mind. For me, I was like, okay, I need a teacher's card, but maybe not everybody needs a teacher's card. So I wanted to give another occasion option with the same sort of theme in mind, using slightly different products. And so I came up with Christmas because I absolutely love this paper, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I'll go through and let you know what the different products were that I used on these cards, but that's the concept behind it. But the funny part about this card is, I don't know if anybody watches Bored Teachers, which is like a little skit that teachers do on Facebook. And they say the funniest things, but one of them said, get teachers, you know, stuff from Target, like usable stuff from Target. And I thought, well, if I'm going to put a Target gift card in the card, why don't I just kind of do the Target color theme? So that's what I did. And I was like, I think it would be super cute. And we can kind of make it our own, but whether or not you were putting a gift card in here or, you know, putting this in a gift bag with an actual gift or something like that. I know that back to school is huge right now. I was actually at Target yesterday, and they didn't have hardly anything left in their back to school section. So yeah, I mean, it's getting kind of crazy. They're getting down to it. So if you're looking for teachers' gifts, I think this will be a cute card idea. And if you don't necessarily have any kids in school, but you want to do this theme with a different occasion, then here is a Christmas card idea. So that's what we're going to be working with today. Now, I will admit to you guys, when I was making the sample, I got this a little bit crooked, so bear with me. I'm going to have to frame that or fix that or something, but that is the everyday version. And here is the Christmas version. So let's go ahead and I will tell you what you need to make these cards. We're going to be using the Inspired Thought stamp set again because I absolutely love it and I keep referring back to it. And I'm also going to be using, and I know this is unusual, but we're going to be using something called the Frightful Tags dies. Now, if you're interested in the bundle, it's this, the Frightfully Cute with the Frightful Tags dies. But here's the thing, look at how many of these are usable outside of Halloween, right? So if you just cover those up, you can use this little guy for fall or for kids themes, but all of these you could use all year. The stars you can use all year. And I was like, I love this. Like, I really wanted to use that. So that's how that came about. So we'll be using the Frightful Tags dies. And then, of course, because I keep working with it, we're going to be using the gingham ribbon. This is in the new mini catalog. Okay, and then we're going to be using the red rhinestone basic jewels. And let me get to all the papers. So on the holiday card, the holiday version, we're going to be using something called Peaceful Prints. And that is actually SALE-A-BRATION Designer Series paper. So that's what we have here, and we'll be using that again. And then for this card, we're using two different papers. The red paper is actually from the Bright 6x6 Designer Series paper pack, and that's in the Poppy Parade, and it's like sort of that squarish pattern. And then we are using, this is another pattern I keep working with. It's called Pattern Party. This is actually a Hostess Designer Series paper pack, but there's so many fabulous patterns, and I wanted to incorporate that black, white, and red theme, so that's what I came up with for the everyday. And we're also going to be using just a touch of the black glitter paper. Okay, so we definitely wanted to mention all of those things. So we'll go ahead and use the card, make the card. I'm also going to be using my Real Red Dark Stampin' Blend, and that will be, only if you're interested, totally optional. That will be if you want to outline the edge of the frame here, that stitched frame from your die. So totally optional, but we're going to make some super cute stuff here. Okay, so let's go ahead and make these cards. All right, and if I haven't already mentioned it, I'll put a link to sign up for my email list. If you haven't already, I give sneak previews of what I'm going to be showing on Facebook on my email list. Lots of other goodies and announcements there too. Okay. So here is my paper trimmer. All right, and here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a piece of the basic white cardstock. And we're going to go to 4 1/4. We're just going to cut that right in half. This gives us 2 card bases. So the length of the card is actually going to be 11 inches. And then we are going to score it at 5 1/2. And then we're going to trim it 2 3/4 inches. So we're just going to trim this piece off. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the second card. Okay, so score at 5 1/2 inches. And then we're going to trim off 2 3/4. All right, and then we're going to do some layering pieces too. So for this one, I'm going to stick with Poppy Parade. Okay, but I'm going to use a different pattern here. So let's use this one. We use the square on the other. So we're going to go with this card. So this one in mind. And I'm going to cut, let's see, 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so that's going to be for the inside layer here. So let me just fold this so you can kind of follow me along. So we're going to have that for the inside layer. All right, and then we're going to cut another piece at 2 1/2. Two and a half by 4. Okay, and that's going to become the layering piece for our outer fold. And now for the inside piece, which is this black and white pattern, we're also going to do 2 1/2 by 4. But I'm also going to do a 1/16 of an inch frame, just a little red frame around this. So we're going to cut one more piece. Okay, so instead of it being 2 1/2, and let me get my ruler so I'm not telling you guys the wrong thing. So instead of it being 2.5, it will be 2 9/16. So 2 9/16 by 4 1/16. I'm really liking the really tight frames. I think that that is a really good look, and it doesn't take away from our black and white pattern. So that's this card here, and we're going to need one more piece of basic white, and that'll be for the inside of the card. So we have our layers. I'm just going to do an extra panel so that we can do, it's also going to be 2 3/4. Let me use, that corner is a little bit bent. Let me just flip this. So we're going to do 2 3/4 by 4. And that will be so that you can write on the inside of the card. So I'm going to get my glue. Let me start putting this together. Ooh, if you want to use that side, just as cute. Okay. So we have these pieces here. Now the next piece we're going to put down, and let me make sure they're the same size. Okay, so we're going to put this right down in the center, but before I do, let me make sure I get my stamping right. So for this one, we're going to say thank you so much on the inside. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink. We're only going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink tonight. Keep it simple with the ink. It was the papers that I went a little bit crazy with today. So thank you so much. I smeared that a little. I'm going to do it again. There we go. Okay. And now let's lay this down on the inside. I'm going to go sort of right in the center. Okay, all right, so now the idea here is we're going to adhere this to the front panel. Do I have the wrong size? Let me see. Here we go. That is the right size. I wonder what that other piece was too. I'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this down. And before I do, don't let me forget my little extra step here. So you see our gingham ribbon, I actually wrap that around the layer. I have a tendency to do that when I'm using ribbon on a card. So let me just cut a piece of this. I might have to put a little more glue down. Get my trusty tear and tape from my ribbon. Okay. What are you guys up to this Thursday night? How's the weather wherever you are? We've been having storms for days and days in a row, like some pretty intense thunderstorms. Okay, so let me just make sure this looks okay across. And then this panel will go right over, so we would just line it right up with the top of that other panel. So let me, instead of using my glue for this, I'm going to use something a little bit cleaner. Let me get my Stampin' Seal. going to press that down. All right, and so now we can do the stamping for our little die cut piece here. So we're going to do the You Make a Difference Every Day. Let's get a little bit bigger of a piece here. Give myself a little extra wiggle room. How about that? Let me just show you these. Okay, so it's the cutest little die. It's from this set. It's from the Frightful Tag set. And when you cut this out, all of these little 3 different size stars come out of this one die in the piece, and it's right around here somewhere. I'm just looking for it on my table. Here it is. Okay, so it looks like this, and it would cut them all out at once, but it's a detail thing. So if you don't want to add the little stars and leave it clean just like this, it looks just fine, right? So totally up to you if you want to add those. I am going to add them. And what I'm going to use for this is my fine tip glue pen and my take your pick tool. The little gummy side of the take your pick tool. Okay. They all came out clean, which is so nice. Oh no, I'm lying to you. There are 2 that are still in there. It's okay. You can use as many or as few as you want. So I'm just going to pick them up, get a little bit of glue on there. Dab it down and just kind of go just around the card. All right, and then usually there's like a little bubble of glue whenever you get this thing started for the first time in a while. So I'm just going to use with that glue that's right on the top. I'm just going to add these little stars because I think they're such a cute little, they're always giving stars at school, right? So it felt right. I'm trying to turn this around. There we go. All right. We have 3 so far. What do we think? One more? All right, there we go. That one's a little bit wet. Wrong lid. All right, and I'm going to put my lid right back on because we don't want this to dry out. Whew. All right, so there is card number 1. Okay, and if you want to do more stars, you can. I think I have 5 on this one, but isn't that cute? All right, and so here is the second card that we're going to make, and that's just from the second half of the card that we just cut. We have our card base, but let's go ahead and cut our layering pieces. Okay, so for this one, we are going to use the Peaceful Prince Designer Series paper. This is a really cute paper pack. This is SALE-A-BRATION paper. So from now until September 30th, whenever you spend $50 before tax, you actually qualify for free SALE-A-BRATION items. And this would be one of the items that you could choose, this designer series paper. I'm going to be using this sheet here, but you could use any of these. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. Just as gorgeous for Christmas, just depending on which one you would want to do. I know, isn't it? Oh, this is just some of the best paper. This really struck a chord with me. When I saw this paper in person, I was not expecting it to look like this. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but it's so beautiful. Look at that. Just that woodland feel, that country Christmas. Love it. Okay, so let's do our pieces one more time. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer and let's take a look at our card while we're cutting. Okay, so for the first piece, let me do it this way. Okay, so we're going to do the 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, this is for our inside panel. Okay, so that inside panel there, I'm just going to fold this over so that will get tucked in here. And then we're going to need another piece for our outside panel. Okay, so that is going to be 2 1/2 right? 2 1/2, is that right? By 4, yes. Okay. All right, so then we have our outside panel here, and then those pretty much line up like straight across. And then for the inside panels here, this is where our measurements are going to get a little bit different. For the inside piece, we're going to do 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so that's going to be for our inside layer. And for our black glitter layer, we're going to do 4 1/16 by 2 9/16. Okay, so just 1/16 of an inch up above our layering piece. Okay, I think I already have the measurement here, but let me just double check it. Yes, okay, so we're going to do 4 1/16. Isn't this paper so gorgeous? This is going to be one of those that I keep using over and over again. So here's our outside layer. Here's this layer. And now we need our decorative layer. So that is the other side of the paper. Okay. So this piece is going to be, I believe it's the same exact size. And let me just make sure for all of you while I am measuring. Okay, so 4 by 2 1/2. Okay, so 2 1/2 by 4 is what we're looking for. What I want to do is try to get my reindeer in here as much as I can. So when I go to measure it to 4, he's kind of centered, if you can see that there. Okay, so whenever you are cutting your, your decorative layer piece, he doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle. I tended to, I hit the lottery there with that, but just so he's anywhere in the vicinity so you have like a cute decoration piece. Okay, so here we have that, this. All right, and so now we can do our stamping. So we're going to do peace, love, and joy. We're going to turn it this way for this card. Okay, and then we'll do our Merry Christmas sentiment on the inside, wishing you all the beautiful gifts of Christmas. Love the font on this. So clean. Nice and easy to read. Okay, we have that, and let's do our inside panel. We're just going to go right center. This has more words, just make sure we got everything. Perfect. All right. Now before I am done with this part of it with my scrap paper, before I start putting everything together, I just want to point out, in case you weren't here for the beginning of the live, I actually went around and created a frame with my Stampin' Blend marker, totally optional, but I'm going to do that again here. And I basically just go to the stitched pattern. So let me start doing my panels. We'll do 4 here. Let's put this right here. Okay. And then I am going to set the, and you can position this, you know, wherever you think is, you know, the cutest. I kind of like this upper corner here, so that's what I went for. Okay. And I'm just going to do that one more time. I'm going to stick with a very similar design. And now this time we are going to tie a bow. And I'm just going to tie it before I actually cut it. And we just want a cute little bow here, and we'll do that glue dot Kathy. Still want to be able to see the word, but I want it to kind of look there. And then just depending on how you want to position your ribbon, like if you don't want your ribbon going across the deer. Okay. Isn't that cute? I love Rhonda's card layout. I came across her video and she's like, this is one of my favorite card layouts. I'm like, all right, Rhonda, I'm gonna try it. And it's so cute. So for the red rhinestones, what I did on this card was I just put them in the center of whatever snowflakes you could see. So this is the Christmas card. And then if you would want to do some more stamping on the inside, this is pretty simple stamping project actually. We're really just working with sentiments here. But here's our everyday card. Let me see if I can move this over. So here's the Christmas version. Here's the everyday version. Hilarious reasoning in that when I thought if I'm going to be giving teachers a gift card from Target, I might as well use Target colors. And then I was like, well, that would make a really cute Christmas card too. And that's where my brain goes when I'm designing. So there you have it. If you are interested in learning more, you can go to my blog. It's Stamping with Hart, HART.blogspot.com. And I always mention my email list because that is the first place where I announce classes, events, and what I'm going to be doing for my Facebook Live projects. I go live on Thursdays and Sundays at 7:30 p.m. All right, well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Bye.